Alrighty there. I didn't realize that my mic was muted. Thank you to Misty to pointing it out. Yeah, so what I was explaining for the last 2 minutes is that while deciding what to do for today, I realized that we needed this НПЗ rail mount for Picatinny scopes, and this side mount is applicable to both AK rifles and the SVD sniper rifle, so it'll be very useful for us. I hope you guys can hear me now, yeah? Alright, cool. So yeah, so I'm just getting a few reference pictures. As you see in the back, it's pretty solid and not so exciting. That's what it looks like mounted on the AK. This is pretty simple, so I hope to be able to go through the whole process with you guys today. If there's enough time, then we can maybe even do some DDO, but we'll see. I think that texturing will be done in the end by Saber, hopefully. Alright, so I think I'm ready to begin. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take my Cobra sight, and because it uses the same bracket, I will be able to reuse this so that I don't have to re-UV all these parts. And I can reuse this as well. Not only will I not have to re-UV, I will also not have to rebake them, which is really nice. You can reuse these parts. And this is, by the way, the Cobra sight that you have in game now. This was ambient occlusion bake, as you can see. It even has stuff below. Anyway, so I'll detach this. So good. Oh. Oh my god. And I will save selected. Bracket. Okay, now don't save, create a new file. Okay, what I'm gonna do also is import a AK which is the model of our somewhere where I still have it. I think it's nope. I had somewhere So look, I'm sure the PSO No, not the PSO. No. Sorry. PSO obviously didn't have one. Yeah, there we go. This one had it for sure. Well, no, I'm not gonna take it out of the P3D. It's already in 3D Studio, which is taking a long time. Hello. Okay, well that's nice. So it crashed, so I will have to restart it. Well, I wouldn't agree. 2015 actually has been quite good so far. I think that the model might have been using some it could be the model that's messed up, but yeah, I'm getting the feeling that it is, so I'm just gonna yeah, it's the model, so I need to load another version of it. As always, technical difficulties are to be expected, and maybe I can close Photoshop. Try to load. Okay, but as my luck will have it, it's probably that this one. No, this one does have an AK. Good size though. Good size. Okay, so we can export selected. Let's put it in the same. Let's make a new folder. Present. And not, god damn. Save selected. Okay, let's just open that file then. It's a beautiful model. It was done by Black Metal. The guy's a genius. I mean, would never be able to achieve the same result, even though to you it might look like there's some stuff missing, but it's okay. It's not. Alright, so just save this as another file, and then let's go to our blueprint layer. Give this, let's find our picture. No, 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 no. Okay, and I actually need to check out the dimensions of this picture to be able to, so it's 16 by 1200. Can go back there. So do 12 by 16, and it gives you the right proportions for the image. And you notice that it's the model, the AK is see-through. That's Alt X to turn on let's say ghost mode, I think it's called. Object properties, I think you can have also see-through. Yeah. Alright, then we will resize this to approximately fit. If we check the image, you can tell that, well, it's quite large, the site. And I think I had somewhere here, yeah, image on the AK receiver. So it will go all the way to the iron sight. So, and it's also, I think, not by accident that it ends exactly on the same level as the iron sight. So go bring the picture back out. You can see that the metal leaf is sort of over the trigger box, which in our case would be the same thing. So this I'd say would be about the right way. So I'll put it behind, and this put in the blueprint layer. So it's frozen. It's gray, so you can do project show frozen in gray. Freeze it. Yeah. So now it's in the right position, and I can't move it. That's the point. Alright, so with this we can already sort of begin. I'll import the clamp that we had. That was from the Cobra, the bracket. It's probably going to be the wrong size. Auto rename. Yes, it's gigantic. It's also probably 10, no, not even, just one. get over there. So that will be about here. Now it's a bit not big enough. So it's actually quite annoying, I think, for the gunner, is this interaction between so close to the trigger box could possibly be quite annoying. But okay. I mean, the picture does indeed indicate that it's okay, so the bottom part is really just sticking out. So it'd be a bit higher. Yeah, then maybe this is a bit too large. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can be happy with that. So that looks about right. The AK, we don't put this in 0 layer, turn that off. And we really will only need it to line up the top part, the Picatinny rail part itself. Okay. Well, now we can really begin, and to do that I'll have to look at more, let's say, perspective pictures. Let's see. You can see that the grooves are quite deep actually, so it comes out that this inner part and this inner part, so this is straight, that's nice, so about this level, and that's when it starts curving, let's say, inward towards the center of the rifle. By the way, the receiver of the SVD is obviously a lot less tall, so it makes sense that there's a bigger gap than on the AK. But it's actually really nice, this mount. It means that we can, yeah, there, that's a nice one. It means that we can make one mount for both SVD and AK at the same time and not have to worry about it too much. The idea is to have because you can't have dual attachments, so you have to have a rifle with this thing already on it to be able to mount a Picatinny scope, or we're thinking maybe some scripted solution that can achieve this. Alright, so we need to start sort of making this shape and kind of gauge the thickness. Of this thing. Let's it's quite big dimples. All right. So I start usually with a plane, simple plane, something that I know that's going to be like so. And maybe I don't need this thing anymore either for now. Convert it to this to editable poly, and I'm gonna start real simple shapes. And then refining it later, so I don't have to adhere to the picture exactly, well, because yeah, it's not in the perfect angle, so just have to make sure I in general sort of, at least from this perspective, follow the direction that it needs to go. Okay, can show my AK again. See, their plane is way, where's our brackets? So we're looking at about, I think we can see again from the image that the frame thickness is about this distance. It's not really that thick, so let's say probably about so. Right. Illustrate this one indents a lot more than these indents, so it's obviously a lot thicker down at the bottom. And the reason why I did this is put it down there. So we did it up to here. That's the bend that we that this vertex represents. Yeah, okay. Yeah, as I'll be modeling, you'll see me, let's say, looking around a lot and trying to figure out how everything fits. So, can sort of start slicing this up. so this edge is straight in the original, so what we'll do is chamfer this just slightly, just to give it a little bit of a rounded feel, because this is a low poly. This will be the base for the high poly, and at the same time be the low poly version. Let's just delete that. I don't need this. So okay. This thing is a bit too big. So okay, let's try to give it that curvature. That it wants, so it wants to curve. But of course not like this, because we know from the picture that it's actually quite, let's say, vertical, and then goes almost 90 degrees. Actually, I'll keep this picture up. Actually, more like so. Okay. Do some more carving. Oh. What I want to do now is cut out these holes, and then I will basically extrude everything out. Okay. We need to investigate what's going on there. But okay, so I will make the cuts. What's wrong with you? Okay, it's just gonna be I think the scale is a bit messed up and that's why it's not liking it. So let's connect some words. Oh, it doesn't even want to. Oh, what's going on here? Doesn't really. So this we can connect to this to solve the problem. It doesn't really like concave. That's why you're seeing these sort of artifacts appearing. But once we extrude it, it will be fine. So back to left. Oh, come on. So that looks okay. And we have to do the same thing, let's say with this, taking into account what's going on there. So this kind of raised edge, and this one also starts descending all the way to, let's say, just below the edge. Again, it just doesn't want to. I'm just gonna get eyeball first, sort of ask questions later. Oh, why is it being so horrible? This one we can target wall to here. This one to here. Can actually create, sort of pull out this edges as well to make that more round, but from a high poly we can do some other trickery, so this is not too bad. Yeah, we can round it off even more. I'll remove this one and then instead connect these two to give this a square, so this one can go, this one can connect to this one, so that takes care of that artifact. And actually, because this is a quad, we can remove this as well, and this one can connect up to this one. Okay. So, and what I'm thinking of doing right now is, because I think the distances are really too small for this, so just gonna centimeters. That should be okay. Weird. So there actually shouldn't be any problems with what? Oh, why does it do this? No. I wonder if I scale this up. If the same problem persists. Connect this, and let's connect this. Sorry about breathing into the microphone. I think this is better. Sort of like so. like this. Again, as I explained, so this is a quad, so it will not cause any problems, hopefully. And then we can extrude this a little bit, so actually give us the nice straight edge. And then we can target that back in. And now it kind of curves and goes over there. Okay, cut some more things. Sector really only wants to cut when in some kind of perspective mode. So, okay, now we can close this up. And we, ooh. That's not nice. Okay. It wants to be weird. So, sort of this the thing we're going to extrude. Oh no, like so. And then these things we will extrude back because they're very indented. So I'm gonna go back to my image. So it's not that much of an extrude, let's say. Whoa. I wouldn't even put it in 1 centimeter. So 0.5 maybe, and that looks about right. That sort of looks okay. Oh wow, no. Let's confirm that. And of course, this thing starts going down all the way from the top. So what we can do is create a nice, oh no, I would just target all this stuff. not to be in the way. This also. Sort of goes down almost all the way. Ah, okay, I see. That's weird. What's going on? Oh, it just doesn't wanna. Oh, okay. See, we found our culprit. There we go. Yes, and then so yeah, starting to take some shape. All right, now I can round off a little bit. Actually, I want to take everything that I have and this thing as well, so everything, and see if I can scale it. Oh, I'm gonna group this group. And just scale it up, get less problems with clipping and all sorts of things. So, ungroup. Yeah, I can scale it back in game anytime, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, I have kind of been neglecting to answer questions. Let's see. There's questions about Panzer in the future. Yeah, I would love to see it as well. It's just a matter of time, I think. Gorka suits. Yes, this is something we really want to do soon. And who knows? Maybe you'll see a stream at some point that will show this. I'll just scroll a bit up to see more questions up there. Tunguska, yeah, I guess you know, well, Tunguska and Panzer would be something that we'd really want to do. I am indeed a superhero during the day. Yes, that is my job. That's also why I was late today. Автоматы АК, наверное, будут. Я думаю, что будут, так как сейчас его также приняли на вооружение вместе с АК-12. Я думаю, что сделать его будет интереснее. No, I have never played Iron Front. Well, I have actually once, I think. And no, it will not be possible to get a damage model because they did really specific changes to the engine. So they bought the rights to edit the engine and made really core changes which we are not able to implement. And I guess even if we did get the rights to to the ARMA engine, and we're able to make our own new game. I don't know if we would do that. I mean, this takes we would have to open up a real studio and actually pay people like Misty to do stuff, and we can't have that. Slave labor all the way. So let's leave now that we have some non-planar, let's say, geometry. A lot of these problems with messed up polygons should go away, so it should be able to improve the edge flows. And by that I mean we want to get ready for high poly models, so it's quite important to have quads as much as possible, so to avoid triangles. Like here we have a triangle, which actually would be better if we took this out. Yeah, I think it's just visual actually. Oop. So this is a quad, and we can make a quad out of these. So now that's a quad as well, and this is a quad. So that's nice. Okay, I'm just reading a question in Russian from Arma Cot 1K. Значит, вопрос такой. Доброе время суток вам. У меня вопрос, на который так не услышал ответ. Прошлые стримы и прочее. Будут ли перебалансированы ТТХ, и точнее добавлена броня и урезана вместимость бронежилетом? Ибо по новой шкале в игре заметно, что они совсем картон. Тут я хочу просто сказать, что я тоже это заметил, но в игре это как бы не заметил. Имеется в виду, что может быть что-то со шкалой не так. В общем-то, как сказать, по конфигам, если посмотреть, то там все вроде в порядке. Но мы постоянно все-таки на это смотрим и будем пытаться как бы балансировку содержать. То есть смотреть на значение настоящих бронежилетов, сколько они берут, какая у них пробиваемость, и будем это поддерживать в игре. Defunct, yeah, the high poly comes from, I mean, a high poly needs a low poly to come from, really, so why not kill two birds with one stone? Then I don't have to remake a low poly. If I make a high poly smart enough, then I don't see any reason why this would need to be made twice. So reuse as much as possible, I'd say. Sort of it wouldn't make sense. Okay, let me see my image. So okay, that's pretty straight, I think. Ooh, there we go, we found a hole. And to avoid this, I can press 3 and check my loops, and I can immediately see that some strange stuff is going on here. Unwelded vertices, which would really make my life hard later. See, 3 vertices selected. Why? Sorry, I welded this. Very strange. Ah, okay. This probably is, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's bad. So what I need to do is actually cut probably from here to here, and that didn't do anything. Just to weld it up. So target weld this one here, and that should take care of our holes. Yeah, as Redkey suggested, I would select all and weld 0.1. That is true, that could be done, but in a case where this one could not weld to anything, the hole would still be here, so that wouldn't matter. Also, when you have polygons that you can't see which are blocking a weld, like we had earlier here, that would not solve the problem. So make a straight edge, like so. Yeah, not slice plane. That's also not good. Wow, it's good enough. I think we can. Okay, this is straight. Just applying some smoothing groups. Also give me an idea a bit about the low poly shape that will be in the end. Okay, so that's the bottom bit somewhat done. This is all one. And I've been neglecting to save. That's nice. Okay, AK can disappear, bracket can disappear. Okay, so now it's time to make, well, the rest of it. which would mean these grooves that are on our picture. So we can see that it goes from this very smooth sort of transition to the very top. And the very top should be not here, but actually here. So it will sort of go like this. Meanwhile, the inner grooves will be somewhat till here. And actually, the picture I need back. So you also see that the total thickness should go all the way, so it should increase at this point. And it curves almost with the rifle's receiver top. Alright, so let's give it some thickness. Something like this. Okay, so this edge gives us a nice point where to start for the base of these grooves. So what I'm gonna do is take these polys up here and get my slice plane out. Like so, and I will cut right in the middle. Oh. Slice right in the middle of these grooves. Slice, so I can also have them a little bit consistent in their thickness. Okay. I have these three edges, and I'll quickly chamfer. Ooh. To about so. Ooh, I see what happened. Selected a little bit too much. Five, yeah, that's more like it. So they start off on the same level as this raised part. There's a question from Lincoln Lou. No, sorry, so Hobelfeld, whether we're just going to do content stuff or to plan to make changes to physics and script stuff. I beg to let's say inform you that we already do a lot of scripting stuff. We don't want to do things like our own medical system because we think that there are mods that do this already a lot better than us, so don't see really the point. But there's a lot of things we changed to gameplay and how tank gameplay, for example, is evolving. So own penetration system, own fire control systems, things like this. We don't just do content. I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into a lot of these things. So I don't see why people are so intent on calling us purely a collection of models or something. We're trying to make a consistent mod that doesn't just add scripts, but it also has content to play along with them, and then the scripts are dictated by what the content needs. I think that there is one way to structure your mod, and we're committed to keep on doing that. Plus, I mean, nothing's stopping you from playing with AGM or SCS, SCE or something. Sorry. And with we don't want to do our own effects mod because we think that Blastcore does it better. We don't want to do super fancy sound scripting because we think that other sound mods do it better, so why really bother when they're already so widely used anyway. So okay, so what do I have here? We got these edges. Actually, I think I was maybe a bit too premature with this stuff. This. I think I can target weld this already. So see, it nicely sort of curves up. Look this. Ooh, so. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is cut out also the edges, and here, this thing. There we go. Here I think the designers took some artistic license. Okay, and then one cut. Yeah, we'll chamfer this up nicely later. Yeah, okay, looks okay to me. So now we're actually ready to extrude it. So I'm going to select all these things. So that's the extrusion, and remember that it goes actually quite deep inside, so I'm gonna look at making it almost to, let's say, this vertical, so it almost goes like vertically up. But okay, I mean, all this stuff that could be fixed later. Yeah, that's sort of way extreme. So maybe 0.5. Okay, well, that's too little. But okay, so let's say something like this. Even though that sort of looks a bit too extreme. But it is quite a bit. And I did say to bring it. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Of course, this is not correct, so we're gonna start target welding that stuff back up and try to make sure that the rest transition smoothly all the way to the top. So we know that the top is let's say on the same level. Whoa. Okay, so not X, okay. Yeah. Yeah, something like this. Trying to get these points a bit aligned. These ones at least. Make the transition nicer. Okay, starting to look good, I think. Of course, it's more, yeah, that's not right, because the Picatinny starts somewhere already around here, so we want these things. You have to transition a bit more smoothly. Yeah, that's more like it. Then we can take my Skype is buzzing. So yeah, notice this thing is a bit only 177 polys right now, so I think we can even afford to make a few more soothing loops here. Certainly we can afford to chamfer these things. Notice how the smoothing doesn't look right. So let's get into some chamfers to already sort of help that out. I'm gonna go crazy here. Actually give you, whoa, 15. Let's do 1. 20. Okay. Yeah, notice how we're starting to lose those squats that I really wanted. So it's very important to clean up always after doing these things. You have to think about what you can reuse. So we have edges here, so we can delete all these supporting edges because we're just gonna reconstruct them. Using our brains a little bit. It's gonna really help us later with the high poly. This stuff also can go. And these things can go. This can maybe stay. Oh yeah, did I want to do this? Oh wow, yeah, that's what I want to do. This can go. I want to see, yeah, I want to make a chamfer here as well. On this polygon. Yeah, why not? It will actually help us. So this we can. Now we can use these chamfers to create these nice quads. Well, nice. I mean, could be nicer, but still. Connect this one to this one. You see this one is lower, so maybe this can go. And nothing's stopping me from creating an edge here. Basically to support this chamfer edge. Yeah, so these can go. Again, just reusing the geometry that I have. It would seem to be a waste not to then sort of also add extra chamfers here, since we added them everywhere else. It will look nicer on the final low poly model. Especially this site's not being very complex. Not site, this thing, whatever this is, site support. So that looks nicer. Okay, now we're back to fixing up our quads. I don't know why it does that. It's like it doesn't understand what I want it to do. Same thing here. Stupid chamfers. Okay. We want maybe some loop here and a loop here. Support this one. Alright, that's cool. Yeah, if any of you thought this is going to be a very quick thing, it's I will disappoint you now. These things take a lot of time and patience as well. And imagine me, I can't even talk to anyone or listen to music because I'm doing this. Connect. Okay, so that looks nice, much nicer. So we got quads going all the way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not a quad. So we can make another loop here. Connect that. Although this is gonna be not nice, to be honest. Yeah, maybe. Because when you have too many edges going to the same vertex, mesh smooth modifier will start pulling on the vertex itself. So it will create distortion, which is not nice. So good to assign your smoothing groups. You can even use smoothing groups to select things, so that's always cool. So that pretty much will define how our back plate will go. It will go somewhere along the edge there, and we'll bend in and then close off the geometry. So it's really the last part on the outer shell. So not counting the Picatinny there. And meanwhile, I take a little small break and see if I can answer some more questions. Let's see. Yeah, we really want to see the bear in game as soon as possible, but there's a few things that are on a priority list that we want to take care of first, like these weapon stuff, small things, while scripters and config guys are working on some things. Will we ever get a description of how armor penetration works in your mod? Yeah, when we'll finish it. So right now it's being completely reworked by Bakerman and Alt, so the guys who made real armor mod. They're still very deep. They have a ton of features that they want to implement, and they're really working hard on this. And when we'll be finished, we'll definitely publish documentation on how other armor can implement our system, but it's not going to be easy, so it's going to be a lot of work. Can you make a video in the future where you show some examples of that penetration? Try not to read that wrong, but maybe. Yeah, as Gertie said, M113 is just placeholder for now. Strikers, yeah, strikers will come someday, indeed. But indeed, as Gertie said, they will not be porting the game model, most likely. Ricardo Felipe 92, I'm making a Picatinny rail attachment for Kalashnikovs, so that you can mount Western scopes and more modern Russian scopes onto the AK, which has a dovetail grip. Whether we plan to implement the FA-18 Make Armor Not War contest bomb system, something tells me that there's going to be, indeed, as Misty said, the arsenal for vehicles with the next DLC. We'll see. Maybe that already is answering all our questions with that regard. So, in any case, we've talked about it, and we also even talked to the F18 guys. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're in the next beta. You can expect to see more loadouts on all aircraft already. Why is RHS more based on Russian than American? Is it because RHS is more of a Russian-based team? No, actually, we have more, let's say, Western, well, not Western, let's say, we have more non-Russian guys than Russian in the team at the moment. The reason why it's more Russian-based is that in its roots, when RHS started back 10 years ago, was that it was primarily making Russian add-ons because there were more Russian people, and there was a lot of interest in it, and I think there still is. And we only decided to make the American side basically in a year ago or so, and don't regret the decision at all, because it turned out really, really nice, and Gertie has put in a lot of effort to get it to the stage, so hats off to him, say thank you to him. And I think the more and more we go, you will see the sides balance out more and more, if not even the American side overtaking, because there are actually more guys now working on the American things than the Russian stuff. Are we ever going to change the hand position on the M320? Yeah, probably. You wanted to grip the handle of the grenade launcher, I'm assuming. Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, we have it already on our Russian rifles, but animations just take a lot of effort, and it's very hard to find people that can do animations very well. Let's see, 17 Little Bird variants? Yeah, probably. Alright, time to continue. So it's starting to take shape, so I'm just gonna do this and give it a nice gray color, so I can see the edges a bit more. By the way, you can always check by using the selection whether you have polygons which are not quads. As you can see, there are still some that are indeed not in our model, so we can try to remedy this problem. For example, what we can do is create a connect this, go back and check. Okay, so this one is still problematic. The problem is I don't want to tug on one of these vertices too much. So what I have to do is, what I can do is this little trick. So let's see what we have here. We have so quads there. That's nice. Yeah, might not have any choice. might actually not have any choice. But let's say a triangle here will cause a lot less problems than a five-sided polygon here. But okay, when we get to smoothing it, we'll see if any issues come up. But I think, yeah, this is not going to be nice because we want to round this, we want to chamfer this stuff off. And it will not go down smoothly. Okay, whatever. We'll get there when we get there. So, the actual Picatinny then. So we have a straight edge, sort of a bevel on top, and then this diamond shape that we want to create. And what we'll do, I think the central part is kind of square. We'll add a little so it actually is a bit incorrect. It should already start sort of target welding these parts in preparation for the horizontal part. Sort of go like this. Okay, then the Picatinny part. We'll do is try to do is get this stuff what I want to do is get these things removed for now, because I don't want the edges to be in the way. So also remove this part and this, obviously, because the Picatinny is symmetric. So again, I want to reuse as much as possible, not to waste time. And going back to my reference, so it looks like it's going a bit outwards. Maybe I look for a straight up diagram. So it's a military standard, so in order for a rail to fit, for a site to fit a specific, for the Picatinny rail, it has to conform to this mil spec. So actually see from the drawing what the dimensions are. And actually what we should technically do is follow this as close as possible. And what are we talking about here? Is it inches? No. Mils probably. This looks like inches. Okay, so 21.2 millimeters. Of course, our model is not to scale per se, which is not really nice. So I can't say that this is exactly so many centimeters, especially when we scaled it. But we can try to infer the height from this image and then use this diagram to construct our rail. I mean, all of these are just variations of the same thing. See, 21.21, 21.2. And I'm guessing 0.835 inches is the same in millimeters. So 1000 by 900 image. Let's go visit image. I'll save it to my desktop. I don't know if I can load the SVG. So 1000 by 900. Let's create a by 9. It looks like I can't load SVG files. Fuck. Okay. Can't use this one, unfortunately, which was the clearest. Yeah, this will do. This one is 843 by 539. 843 539. 5.39 and 8.43. So the dimensions of the image are sort of kept. So what I'm going to do is then eyeball the Picatinny, let's say size, and that looks kind of way too small, so yeah, it looks quite big with it compared to the rest of the site. So I'm just gonna put this here. More. Yeah, that looks about right. And it goes all the way from start to finish. Why is my Skype going fucking crazy? Okay, let's delete this. And this. Don't need it, don't want it. Okay, this will smooth it out later. So let's delete these guys, don't want these, because the railing will have these cuts in them, so there's going to be a lot more geometry coming in. That's just a matter of aligning up a little bit. And that looks about right. Let me bring back my picture. Yup. So let's copy this. And then use the snap to snap the points to get exact symmetry. So then attach these polygons and then weld that stuff together. I can actually remove this, or no, actually I'll keep it. See why in a second. So that's nice. So our rail is Seems to be okay. I can hide this stuff. In the end it will sort of blend in. It'll be nice here. It will be nice sort of horizontal, vertical thing. So this, we can use this edge to get our central cut, which is, well, it's quite big actually. So what I'll do is, as the more and more I need to sort of look at the reference, the more yeah, and let's extrude that down. It doesn't go all the way down, so it goes about to the level of this thing. Just below it, I think. So like this would be more accurate. These two can go. So that's our central. Now we also need to cut the grooves that come here. So yeah, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 13. Okay, let's see what would be the best way. So I'll detach this. Detach. The rail itself. I mean, there's nothing really that says that it has to be attached. It looks better in more holes geometry, and then you can reuse this stuff for let's say, what could you reuse it for? For shadows, and shadows require LODs, which are closed, so they don't have any holes. So if you already have a low polygon mesh that has no holes, so the geometry is completely closed, then you really don't have to do much to get it to look good. Okay, so what would be the smartest way and the fastest way to get these grooves done? So we can already sort of delimit this one and this one, and then the rest, what we can do is do a connect. Huh. Okay, and then connect. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, just too many. Yeah, now each one has one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. And now they're equidistant from each other, so that's really good. What you can do is then chamfer each one. This is where the really the ungrateful part comes. It's that you want to cut out the geometry that you don't need, right? So that would be this stuff. And then, oh, just this. So yeah, I think that the smartest thing would have been, before doing this, is to take for this and align it with this bottom vertex. Otherwise we're gonna have lines. So what we're gonna do is take these vertices and then make them same y coordinate. Then that would mean that this thing will be flat when we make it to select these two, bridge, that there is absolutely no weird thing going on. And then later I can just select these things and I cap them. So these holes. So I have to do this a few times. Oh, what the hell? No! That's not cool. Just need to do a little fixing here. Okay, while I'm doing this, I'll just take my headphones off and turn my mic off for a bit because it's starting to hurt my ears a little. Alright, so that part is done, so I can sort of close up all these holes. What I can do now is save myself some headache and already apply some support loops that we'll need to connect anyway. This will be absolutely necessary for your high poly in any case. Man, am I glad they added these Swift loop stuff a few years ago, because man, without these quick modeling tools, modeling in Max was a lot harder. Okay, again, blah, and cap that. Now I think, nope. I think I made a shortcut for, nope. Nope. Man, I don't remember. Keyboards. Connect. Control, Shift, Control E. Yep. Oh, this really needs patience. If you don't have patience, this is really not for you. Then we have to come back and do the other side as well. There's probably a better way to do this as well. Okay, wait, let's save this. Could have extruded this Picatinny rail upwards. Yeah, but okay. Captain Hindsight to the rescue. Halfway done. Yeah, and again, when I get to do, after the high poly is done, when I get to do really optimize the low poly, all the stuff has to be removed then, because it's unnecessary edge loops. Okay, so now it's all nice quadrified. And what's gonna happen is that because I'm gonna use let's say the high poly then to build the low poly, let's say refine the low poly, so we can use most of this for the high poly and the low poly. What I'm gonna do is then leave the rail unattached, because I need all of these square loops down there to make it easier for myself. Sort of keep modeling this as if this thing was attached to it, to have a nice high poly from this thing, and then with the low poly, once it's all done, is have it attached, and then I'll weld all these edges down to these points that are already here. So that will be much nicer in terms of flow. But okay, this is already looking good. I think we're done on the Picatinny part. So we can just model the back, put the screws where they belong, and really get on with the high poly. Okay. So take this edge and add this stuff. I'm just gonna drag it down so that kind of goes there, just to eyeball it. So I can also then bring it back here. And close it in on itself, so that we get like so. These polys can weld. This can weld as well. Like this kind of curvature we don't need. We want this to go straight and sort of smoothly translate into a smooth transition. Yeah, that's more like it. This even, these two can smooth out into this one. Okay. Alright, and so we looked at the picture. Sort of on the same level, just below this level, we have the dip to the normal side. So it sort of goes to here and then to the normality. So what we can do is start pulling these, but just on the edge, way down. Or actually better, even they should be extruded like we did before. What we'll do is we'll deselect some of the edges here, so sort of these ones will extrude to cover up that. Whoa. So it has to be at least the thickness there. Make it like so. This provides the back wall for the site. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know how that got there. Okay. These things I don't really want. Nope. Shift backspace to delete also the vertices. And then what I'm gonna do is extrude this just tiny bit. Delete this face. Then kind of give the rest of this stuff does not really care about this, so then just extrude this down. Remember, all of this will help me with the high poly model in the end. So alright, that's cool. Sort of okay. Now we have this hole, so we can just really just cap and then do connect between these polys. Yeah, there's not an equal amount of, let's say, cuts on each side. It's okay because we cut this one a little more to support this edge flow here. It's not a big deal. I mean, we can do the same thing on this side. We also need to support this stuff. So but we can use this edge to hold it. So what we're gonna do is, no, we can do that. Make a few edges like so. Because this is a straight edge, it's not gonna affect our geometry so much. Also, we have some things here coming out which we'll need to support as well. But again, we can pull it, let's say, to this edge and it will be okay. Let's see, we have this one, and then 3 more, so cut here. We'll just cut it to, say, here. All this will disappear on the proper low poly. Alright, I think we're pretty much done here. I'll try to some smoothing here. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, we're not gonna close it off on the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is take this bridge and bridge this as well. Oh, what I forgot to do is I need to also sort of do the transition. Oh, that's so stupid. Yeah, that's not nice. So you either have a triangle here or a pentagon, but okay. Okay. Okay, so this is not really nice and smooth like I would want it to. So I can try to correct this a little bit. Sort of this thing should go somehow like this, and these should support it. Should support this transition. But again, it has to be smooth. No, I'm just gonna not mess about with this too much. Just delete. Okay. See, found unwanted polygons. Just delete this. Make sure it's correctly transitioned from here. Connect that. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay. What we're gonna do is take these, get our trusty slice plane, I'd want it to sort of line up with this edge. Yeah, that's sort of good enough. Can delete these. Okay, so that's more like it. And if I show our AK and the bracket, yeah, maybe the Picatinny could be a little bit taller. Well, more like in all directions. Well, yeah, it looks tiny. Fuck. It's a pity I don't have a Picatinny site model with me, or I could size it up so that make sure the fitting is right. I mean, now it looks a bit more correct. This is better. Ah, okay, yeah, I forgot to add my edge here. So this edge loop. Okay, good. Okay. That looks more like it. What I'm going to do is then take this loop. Move it to where the Picatinny rail. Alright, so now we can, now I think we're done with the low poly model. I think it's good enough to proceed. Which means that, yay, we can start on the high poly, which is even more interesting part, I hope. I'm pretty sure you guys are all bored of it now anyway. Get some of my smoothing groups back. Okay. Now on to the high poly model. Right. So we're going to use these two things to create it. What I'm going to do is just copy these into a, say, new layer. Let's call it LP. Where do we have this stuff? Yeah, this is weird. Why does it keep on jumping around? And here, so this is the bracket. Oh no, that's not called the bracket. The actual rail, not the rail. Yeah, okay, rail. Okay. Rail, and this is the Picatinny. Okay, I can just turn off everything else. And what I'll do is now make create another layer. I'll call it the HP, and snapshot copy the Picatinny and rail models there. Okay, now you got to be really careful because your underlying low poly still has to sort of fit what you're going to be making in the high poly. So that's why I used the initial, let's say, first edition low poly to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a mesh smooth modifier. It's going to start smoothing things really fast. Hardcore stuff. It doesn't look like a Picatinny rail anymore. but the end result is that what I can do now is pretty much, if I choose to chamfer, see if chamfer the edges. Ooh, not like that. 0.2. It will give me a let's say a smooth edge result, but of course that's not nice because we're smoothing lots of incorrect edges. So we have to be mindful of what is it that we're actually going to be smoothing. So I can't just do a let's say a chamfer. Now another option is something they introduced in Max, I think pretty recently, and it was called Pro Optimizer. No. What was it called? Yeah, a lot of people use Turbo Smooth, but there's a new one, Open Subdiv. So Open Subdivisions modifier. I don't really use it, but yeah, it should be sort of it's a new workflow. So this thing we can clear all. Okay. I don't remember exactly, but I think I can select all edges and then oh, okay, here creasing, yeah, and that will give me the smoothness that I need without having to create these super extra edge loops, and I can control really the tightness of this, which is really nice. It's a new thing in Max 2015, I believe. So I think in this case it's beneficial for me to use it. So I still have my low poly somewhere. If I see that the high poly hides within it, so I can sort of also go back to the high poly and play around, I think, with this doesn't do anything. Mesh control. I think this could be for the rendering part of it. Oh, okay. So yeah, I can still tighten some things around, but it's, yeah, okay, it's doing something there, which I don't want. I wonder if any of these has changed. Crease. Okay, this doesn't do anything. But okay, at 3 it was fine. I think also the it was getting crazy there. So yeah, so with the creasing you can control yeah, okay, Red Phoenix is right. I think I should save. What I would also want to do is go back here and take this edge, and you'll see what will happen if I go back here to not this and not this, so only this edge, and I'll just slightly pull it out. I know you can't see much, so what I'm going to do is bring this up. Again, I'll just loop that there. Don't have to worry about the front or this side because there's a straight edge there. And if I just tone down a little bit the creasing, you can see that I also get this transition fillet over there, which is nice, which will be then visible in the bake. Okay, so that's the Picatinny rail done really quickly. I'll save, and we can try. Let's have a go also with OpenSubDiv on this one, and you can straight away see that it doesn't work the same nice way. It's really using it's doing something here. Okay, but here we might want the finer control of control loops. So if I increase my creasing, so creasing goes up to 1. Weight does not do much. So you can see that at a certain point, like at 0.4, it doesn't even matter anymore, which we have here. And if you check out the result, you got some problems going on. That's because we also have some faulty. There's also old geometry showing. So it's already a lot nicer. So that's okay. That's cool. But for example, these edges. They shouldn't have any creasing on them, so it's really only these edges which are controlled by very large deviations that should be having this. Oh, actually I forgot something. I just realized. Yeah. I have forgotten something. Because there has to be a, let's say, a cut for the actual railing, for the bracket. Should go from around here to here. Yeah. So what I'm actually gonna do is instead do something like this to accommodate this. Bring this down to like so. Yeah, I mean, there's no point not to reuse this stuff. If it's already there, then so be it. Oh. Well, that's not nice. I have sort of connected the wrong thing. Yeah, that's more like it. It's actually very unfortunate that we picked these two to support our edges. So sort of need to do is get these on the same level. Get these on the same level. Yep. That's enough. I think we have some bad geometry here. Seems not. Alright. I think that's better. Save it. Again. So this is in LP now. We'll just snapshot to copy. Wait, where did it go? Yeah, okay. Yeah, rail 1 is what we want. So we're gonna opt for maybe finer control, and maybe it's nicer to show less. So if I choose 2 iteration, maybe even 3 iteration mesh smooth, we can have a bit more fine-grained control using control edges. And what control edges are is you can see here we have some bad geometry. 2 vertices, yeah. Weld. So control edge loops help us define the curvature of your model. And this is why it's important to have quads, is that it's very heavily dependent on the topology, and quads make it very smooth. Connect, and it will let you easier define, let's say, like how it will curve. So what we're gonna do is then expose our cage, do swift loop, that's the easiest, and go ahead and start adding some edge loops to tighten up these things. So okay, you see, so in some places it's not so nice. See how I added the edge loop? Instantly this thing becomes a bit harsher. And this one as well. It's important to know that, of course, this is going to be all in your normal map. So depending on how smooth you want it to look, I mean your low poly model will most definitely have harder edges, but you want the normal map to transfer the soft edges to your low poly. That's the whole point. So moving along and getting some edge loops. There's no really like set formula to do this. Kinda have to get used to it and make sure you have your own way that you feel comfortable doing it. Otherwise, I mean, listening to a dude on the internet is never the right way. That dude might be wrong. Yeah, that's getting good. Okay, so this is sticking out a little bit. So can actually what we should do is tighten up this one. Oh no. Yeah, so that tighten up this thing. Let's bring this back around. This should... Where the hell did this come from? Okay, getting more and more loops. So that everything connects to some quads. It's looking good. Yeah, see, this might give some error. But we can technically also clean it up later. What we can do is sort of break these edges open to sort of keep the sharpness. Can I detach? Nope. Yeah, I can detach this thing to element. That will already, say, solve our problem a little bit. And what I'm going to do is drag just a little bit. Just trying to get the number of normal map errors that are going to come up later to be the less the better. So yeah, and basically that's it. That's our site. Can already line up our nuts. So this lines up actually quite nicely. So this is fine. So I already have the AO maps and normal maps for these things, so I'm not going to redo them. Let's give some random. And here we have our site. So we can give this a little bit of color. This thing's give some darker. This give some. And that's our high poly done as well. Let's check out our AK. That looks pretty nice. So now we'll be able to put a Leupold or EOTech or whatever thing on it. So the next thing to do would be to get our low poly done completely. No, go away. What do you want? Which screw am I missing? Ah, I see, yeah, that's true. Over there. True. Some eagle-eyed people. Yes, this thing was blocking it. Thank you for that. Yeah, nice. And I see that it also lines up with the things that it actually has to fit on. So here the screws would go through into this fixture. That's pretty cool. Alright, cool. Yeah. Basically happy enough with this. And later on, I think Saber will do some magic to make it look even better. So now what I'm gonna do is maybe take a 2-minute break, have a cigarette, and see if there are any more questions. If you guys have any questions, you're free to ask. Because I'm looking at the chat and all I see is moderator icons. There's Red Phoenix and looks like Misty just talking to each other. Yep, it's just and Saber just talking to each other. Yeah. We are gonna add AK-12 and AK-1034. We actually already have some 103s. I mean, they're only different in the fire modes, so we do have the 103 in game. Do I model professionally? I have done in the past. I don't anymore since I have a full-time contract doing other things. So I don't really have time to do any freelance work for modeling. This is all just a hobby, and I sort of like to keep it that way. It keeps me at my own pace. But I used to. I even worked on Arma 3 a little bit when it was being made, and yeah, it's a lot of stress doing it professionally, because you no longer can do whatever you want to do. You have to do what other people tell you to do. So it's a bit annoying. But yeah, if you really love doing it, and that's the way you want to earn money, then by all means, I think it's a cool thing. A94 is not in the plans currently, so sorry, Macney. Rati LP, я попробую Сейбера подогнать, чтобы он сделал стрим текстурирования этого приспособления. Но там зависит от его скорости интернета. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't get a lot of time to actually play ARM at all. I do pop in once in a while, very rarely into CTI sessions when we play with our guys. Never on public servers. I used to play a lot more when I had more free time, but now I get back from work and I want to get some of this work done to keep the mod rolling. And the thing with running this mod is that I mean, if some people start sort of not doing work, then others lose interest as well, and it becomes a bit so work is the best motivator also for the whole team. I wish I had more time to play though. I'm also looking for the ultimate mission to play, because there's not much time. I can't really play these huge MP missions where you have to earn mine like CTI. It's not really for me, because you really have to spend a couple of hours accumulating resources to buy things and to get to places, because you start off with nothing, you have no cars, and you have to run somewhere, and it's half an hour before I run to the first town and get shot like 5 seconds later, and then I have to do this all over again. So I like to have some kind of head start already, so I can play for an hour and a half and then switch off and then go to sleep or something. Nice screenshot. Mr. 5 Sharp 5 Hot. I guess you missed yesterday. I was showing some modeling on the T90. So yeah, it is coming along. I just wanted today to spend just some time to do one thing from scratch, from start to finish, and then hand it off to other team members to work on. Yeah, the T90 is, I can bring it back up for those people who didn't see yesterday. So, there is some progress there. Main things being the dazzlers, they still haven't been really worked on. This is just a stand-in model. Obviously the commander cupola needs to be done. There's a few small things that still are in progress. I think that if I sit down and spend a day, then I have the low poly stuff complete. So maybe Sunday or something, because we also want this thing to be in game, and then start working on the T90A. Get the Russian side up to speed to fight all the super advanced Abrams that are in the mod already. Yeah, I haven't tried these patrol ops and invade annex missions. It's probably worth a try. I just need to find a server where I don't have to download too many islands and gigabytes upon gigabytes of stuff. And also with the right people, of course. Yeah, and of course we would. The ideal case would be to get some mission designers and scripters who have let's say experience in large MP modes, to get them already packed into the mod, so that people don't have to go and download all the other stuff, and just can install RHS mod and start a server and just play with your friends. Alright, if you give me 2 minutes, I'll get some water and be back in a second. Alright, time to get this stuff done. So we can disappear this. Don't need this. Yeah, it's looking okay. Now we have our LP. Which we can now clean up and UV unwrap. What we'll do is we'll merge attach this. We can delete that thing. But I think so we need to close off all these holes. It's gonna get really tight. And okay, two edges we can delete. So if we we use our edges to our advantage, always. So the edges that we already had. To sort of support the topology. So here we have kept this. I know it sort of looks weird, but what we do is, it's because of the smoothing groups. Yep, so here I think we can just delete all this stuff. It's not going to be a big deal. Oh. Control. Eh? Okay. Okay. So we have two vertices. We already noticed that on the high poly. I think it's pretty good. I mean, 804 polygons, that's barely anything, so you can live like that. You can even do some more funky things, like pre-chamfer these edges. But I'm not gonna do that. It's just I know some people like to do this, do a quad chamfer. Sort of, it supports the normal map as well. but it breaks a lot of things. So I think it will look good enough without it. Okay. So there's yeah, still some cleanup that we can do to even reduce the polygon count even more. Sort of unnecessary edges here and there that do not support the topology. So these quads now on a high poly model do nothing. But we wanted to, let's say, just keep the convexity. I wonder why. Ah, okay. Yeah. Looks like we have bad geometry here. Yeah, that's better. Okay, make sure our smoothing groups are in order. Actually, this and 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 this should probably have all the same smoothing group, since they will support the normal map. Otherwise you have a straight edge, but the normal map will have some sort of a bevel. We'll do it like this. Then we'll check once the normal map has been baked. Ooh. It doesn't look good, but it's also because of the lighting, so I think when it's baked it's gonna be okay. Okay, I think what else can we sacrifice in terms of polygons? We don't need this. Although we have to first target load it before we loop it to end the loop. Do we need this? No, I don't think so. Then we can target load this to, say, here. Better there. Just connect it up to make it nice and of course we want this to be all one smoothing group, so that the transition there is a bit right. It doesn't look I think it's more so. See you, Phoenix. Alright, I think that's enough. I mean, 776 probably says for a side mount is very low. Of course, with the it's going to be a bit more with the screws and the bracket. So, but okay, I think we can start UVing this. What I'll do is I'll just save as and increment this. Okay, I can hide this stuff. And what I'll do is add this. I get asked about this a lot. You know, how do you UV stuff? Well, this is how I'm about to show you. I will be using this plugin for Macs called Text Tools. I don't use it, I guess, too much, but it's a very nice thing. Can do a lot of cool things. It certainly eases the pain a lot. What I'll do first is I'll unwrap randomly, so I'm not going to try to fit it all, whatever, and then I'll have to merge with the screw and the bracket to make sure they all align, because I want to take the normal maps and the AO from a different scope, so I want to reuse it. So I want to keep the UV coordinates of those things, so the mounting bracket and the screw on the same places from the previous texture. And what I will do is first select the Picatinny stuff, because it's a lot of small things. See, the Picatinny is just a lot of little boxes that unfortunately we'll have to do by hand. Well, I'll have to do by hand. You can put some checkered boxes just to see how your unwrap is doing. And I think we can select by smoothing groups even. Yeah. So 30, and this will give us these things, which is nice. It's really like sort of quick select. Oop. Magic Fart Boy, about the map. Yeah, we'd really love to, but let's say lack of personnel in this area has really sort of kept us out of the loop on making our own island. Because to make it to good quality, you'll need not just people that are good with terrain, but also a dedicated team of modelers that will create the assets necessary just for the map, which is something really we can't dedicate to. Okay, so let's see. Oh my god, what is it? Wait, there was somehow here we could do. I don't remember already. Okay, sort of let's start with this one, this thing, that thing, and that thing. So that's one unit. This unit is this thing. So I'm trying to separate them so it'll be easier for me to select. This, and this, and this. And then this. Obviously wrong because this thing belongs here. Now what I'm going to try to do is pelt mapping. And pelt mapping I just love using pelt maps. It's a way to stretch out your map, and especially if you're doing baking, this will produce really nice good maps for you. If you get polygon angles, nice straight maps for you that have no seams. Just this thing is completely unstretched and has very nice UV flow. There's a little bit there, but not too bad. What you can do is, with pelt mapping, to relax it a little bit, you can define some edges. Let's say a little bit here, and use this converter to seam. So if I reselect these faces, now it has a seam there, and if I apply again the pelt mapping, you will see that it's ripped over here, and that will take care of some of the warping that was there. The unfortunate side effect being is that a seam will usually be visible. So, but because the player will see this model from usually this perspective, a seam that's over here is not that bad. But because it's being modeled, textured with some procedural textures, all this stuff, its orientation is not really that important. So I'm gonna do the same thing for this. Yep. Again, we'll create a here you get some warping, so it's probably a good idea to also give a thingy here. Again, yeah, that will straighten out a lot, so you don't get this stretching. I get really nice UVs. Unfortunately, you see that the sizes are not the same, so you'll have to do some manual scaling. You see, it's good that all the, say, squares are relatively the same. So here, from our experience, because this hole is kind of the same, so we'll add 2 straight away, and because it's the same relative size, yeah, trigger E1, that is for Gertie. You have to convince him that he has to do some streaming as well. So again, here, same thing, some pelts, boom, boom. So that's looking nice and smooth. So this thing, probably a good idea for it to also incorporate these faces, since they're, yeah, so that would be this whole thing. It's one hole. We can actually attach also this and this face all the way at the bottom. We can just stitch them up. What else? Yeah, this whole thing just by itself. But we also can, let's say, pelt map the insides. By the way, I hope this video is recording. I set it to record, but this is the first time again, so My apologies if something goes wrong. So this is sort of like this. What we can do is then select an edge, and you see the blue one will indicate that you can be stitched, and so we stitch it up. What we can do is scale it down to the similar square size as these guys. That's about that's about right. So again, keeping scale is quite important. Let's see. This thing we can use pelt mapping again. So let's define some pelt here, maybe a pelt here. And where are these? That. So I want only this hole. Let's belt map it, relax it, put it back. See, probably a good idea to add maybe another pelt here to reduce the stretching. Because there is a little bit. Oh, maybe I clicked a little bit too many times. Oh, I hope it doesn't crash. Escape to cancel. Yeah, okay. Fuck. That was scary. So yeah, I'll just make another pelt here.